All right, I want to welcome everybody. For you that are listening to this by recording, we welcome you. I know we have some people in Hawaii and different places that the time's not great for them, and so we tape this. If it's something that you that are on the call want a copy of, just be sure to let us know before we get off, or email us, text us, or whatever, and we'll be sure and give you a copy. Or if there's anything we talk about tonight, any forms or anything like that that you'd like to have, just be sure to let us know. Well, I hope everybody is excited about the challenge. I don't know that everybody necessarily on this call is doing the challenge. We would hope everybody would be, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. How do you make your room successful? Those kind of things. We want input from you. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight. We're going to talk about dream weaving and how important that is in your rooms. We have really told the people that we invited into our room, we said, now you turn around and invite people, because that's the way they get points, by inviting people into your room. And so we've been really working that. From now till Monday, Monday's the actual day it starts. But actually, you could invite people, I think, for at least a week afterwards, and they prorate the points, they prorate the weight loss, all that, because really the whole goal has always been is to help somebody on their journey, to help get them a step going in the right direction. So this is, even though we've kind of put this in a contest type of thing, it's really the whole purpose is to teach them the habits of health along the way. I know people have asked about the money. I know a big portion of the money is distributed back to the people that, one, get their points, and two, lose their 6%. And I'm not really sure how the maintenance people, I know if they maintain within 1 pound or something and do their points, they win. But the winning part of this is that we really take people from where they're at and we get them on a journey of health. In saying that, the room, the people, we've actually tried real hard getting people into our room that aren't our clients. We want our clients in there because we want our clients to rub off on the visiting people. But so did you have something to say?
Well, and Jack's right. Jack's right, because I already have a non-client who
two.
That are actually going, wow, this is fun, and it's making me do it every day, and they're starting to create those healthy habits already. They're getting points already, and so how exciting. It's just a great tool, I think.
And they're excited because for you that don't know, what you should be doing now is making sure everybody that's in your room and anyone that comes into your room, make sure that they do the survey. Now that survey, if you're a room leader, that survey will come right back to you. And then that way, it's really interesting, because the person Sue was talking about, her friend that's not even a client, what was really exciting about that, reading her survey, and at the end, she said, I am so excited to do this. It's just, she went on and on about how excited she was. Now, talking to her, I would have never believed that,
and they write their goals down in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know how better to
what they want to accomplish.
Dream weave, which we're going to be talking about, weaving their dream into the challenge.
So before we go any further, is there any, I'll just open it up. You can just come off mute. And if there's any questions or anything you want clarified, because, we want to make sure you leave here empowered and moving forward. So
three of them just joined late, so you might want to clarify.
We're just asking if there's any questions on any of the challenge or anything like that.
How to guide your team.
Yeah, and we want this interactive tonight.
Yes.
I really want, as we get into what we call dream weaving and stuff, we want your participation too.
And your team can be one person. It doesn't matter, because you're learning how to do it the next go around. Yep. So nobody needs to be ashamed if they didn't get a lot of people the first time around. You're just going to get more confident and better at it.
Yeah, we've had people that only had 2 last challenge, and their rooms are just busting at the seams this time. So it's just a learning thing and fun. It's fun,
a lot of fun.
So any questions? There we go. Say who you are.
Again. Frank. I would just like to know, coming into the home start stretch, what's been people's most successful ways to get people in the room? Is it all over the map, or just, I want to use my time wisely in this last week, so I want to land on the one that's been most successful, because I haven't really been that successful with it, but
Okay.
I will get there.
Yes. Anybody want to answer that?
Yeah, I do, Jack. I've sent out several emails and texts that lets the information out, but it's the telephone call
Mm-hmm.
making the person yes every time. Heard from them, but I call them on the phone. They say yes.
And you're
Yes.
absolutely right.
Yep.
One today, in fact, two of them today and I'd been inviting by text. I invited, but I always either preceded the text or email by phone call, or after I sent it, I got right on the phone and called them, because I want to let them know, one, because if you're like me, you get a lot of emails. Some of them look junk, and you just go away from them.
And another thing, Frank, let's say you have one in your room and you told that one, hey, be sure and invite guests. It's our job to tell them, hey, pick up the phone and call them. We have a couple more days and the challenge is going to start. So you train them to call rather than email or text, you know?
Well, yeah,
You know?
we're really pushing the points. The people that are in the room, hey, invite people. But we also tell them you have to also. I'm getting a little background.
Yeah, feedback somewhere.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So what we do is we tell our people that are in the room to invite. We tell them to do the survey, but going to the question of the people that you've invited and they haven't quite got in, we also tell them to invite people and stuff. So did I go ahead?
And in answer to Frank's question, I'm sure other people have the same questions. You know, what's your tactic? How do you get people to come into your room? And I think we need to visit that a little more.
Yeah. Well, I'll take that.
Okay.
For me, it's, and I think if you if you guys think you're the only ones, you're not. We on the Miller's calls, people have said, you know, what's it doing? And Terry said, without being too obnoxious, she's had to remind, usually it's up to 5 or 6 times sometimes, because if the people say this to you, oh yeah, I want to do that, I want to do that. Well, it's not that they're really lying to you. They really want to do it, but it's probably not the number one priority on their agenda. So therefore, you just got to keep. I had a guy today that said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, you know, this is going to start. I want you to get some of your points where you get a jump start. Oh yeah, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say badgering, but just keeping on top of it and keep reminding them.
And also, it's okay to say you can be on your own eating plan. You know, I think a lot of people at first think it's a hook to, you know, oh, get me to order the food. It's not. And it's to create healthy habits, and ultimately, hopefully they will. But we always present it like that you can be on your own eating plan, and we still welcome you.
Yeah.
So.
And I think we've laid that message out pretty good from because especially people that know your health coaches, you maybe even approached them about being on plan, or would they like to be on plan or something. And so they're a little leery. So you got to disarm some of those people right off at the bat. So
a little skeptical.
Yeah. Any questions before we go on? I want to talk about. Let's assume that you've got everybody in the room, or you've got people in your room. What the heck do I do now? Okay. Does anybody have any questions before I go on? Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go push everybody where I can see all of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way, if you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll. Okay, go ahead, Claudia.
She's muted.
You're muted, Claudia. See if I can. Okay, I've unmuted you, Claudia. Go ahead.
You still can't hear me, right? That's on purpose.
I can hear you.
Oh, I almost forgot. So when we get to the weigh-in, is that going to be really clear this time, so that and we can start on the 13th? Is that correct?
Yes, as early as the 13th. I try to teach everybody in the room to go in there every day now. One, it gets them used to it. There's points. Some of you may not. You get points for Dr. A's ebook little message. You can get points there. You get points for the survey. I tell them if you're in there, invite somebody, email them or something, call them up. So you get points. I get them used to it. But on the 13th, it'll be, you can start putting your weigh in. Now, it doesn't start till the 15th, but they'll let you, if it's the same as last time, you have somebody take a picture of you standing on the scale, and then you take a picture of yourself with the weight where you can turn the weight in. So there's 2 pictures you download. It's very, very easy. I'm not a techie person. I was able to pull it off the first time, so I was pretty impressed with myself. So it's very, very easy. Okay. Any other questions before we go on? Yes, Frank.
You say Frank? Is that okay?
Yes, go Frank.
On the weigh-in part, it said something about it. There's a code that you're supposed to have next to your weight. I was reading the weigh-in directions, and it said there's a code they send you that you're supposed to put next to the actual where the numbers are on your scale. And I don't know how you get that. Do you get that when you on the 13th?
I've not heard anything about
Anybody?
that. Jan, do you know about that?
Okay, unmute.
She can unmute herself.
Yeah.
Jen, do you know?
Yeah, they thank you for unmuting me. That was nice of you. Yeah, they send that to you. They send you the little number. You put it on, you write it on a little sheet of paper, put it right next to almost like your wanted number, you know, felon. But you put it right next to the scale, right next to your toes. And so you see the number on the scale and you see the number that is you. That identifies you as the participant who has that weight.
Very good.
You'll have that same number at the end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Yes.
So where do you get the number?
I guess they're going to send it to you.
They give it to you. They send it to you on weigh-in time. They don't send it to you now. You might lose it.
You know me.
That's going to spoil Frank's. He was going to use his weight 2 years ago.
Cheryl has a question.
Cheryl, go ahead. You have a question, Cheryl?
She has to.
Okay, we got to unmute you, Cheryl. Here we go. Now,
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
There we go. What does the email look like when we put in several people on the participation page
When you invite them.
Yeah, what does the email look like that is sent out to the people that we put their names and email addresses to?
Yeah, it goes out. It goes out and it says something like, hey, Jack and Sue invited you to the Meltdown Challenge, and it
Just send it to yourself.
That's what we did.
that's what I did. I sent it to myself where I know
Right.
exactly what.
We
Then you'll see exactly what it is.
Yeah, and it's really good. It's very. I mean, the last time it wasn't as good as it, but they've really perfected this thing down. It's really, really nice. So, okay, because I don't want to run out of time, and this is something I really want to get to, and this is something I think we didn't teach enough on last time. You've got the people in the room; they're all ready to go, and you say, "What?" You know, I think everyone assumed, "Hey, they're in the room; they're going to go and click on the points, and they're going to get it." But really, as good coaches on our clients, what do we find out about first when we got a client? We find out what they want to accomplish out of this. And there's some very good questions that's been put out to where you go in and maybe like there's people in the room that somebody else invited you don't know. And so I'll pick on you, Frank, like I was talking to Frank, and I say, "Hi, Frank, this is Jack, Clubb. Hey, thanks a lot for being in the Meltdown Challenge with us. We're so excited. We think we got a great team. We're going to do really well. And Frank, while I have you on the phone, and do you have any questions?" I answer Frank's questions, and I say, "What do you want to accomplish, Frank, on this 6 weeks? What is it that you want to do?" And I let Frank start telling me his dreams. Now, I just want to lose 5 pounds. I don't let him get away with that. I dig deeper, and I really want to find that thing that really excites Frank. Maybe it's climbing a mountain or something in the future or something. You have something?
Well, and on dream weaving, that's what we're talking about is finding out what they want and weaving it into conversation, reminding them of their goals. And we have a script in case your mind goes blank, like sometimes we do. We call our client, it seems repetitious, and we're like, hey, how'd you do last week and stuff. So there is a script, and we can send it to you, but I'm going to read you a couple sentences off of it because I think it's really good. So what are your health goals, Frank? What are they? What would you like to see happen in your life? When was the last time in your life that you were at a healthy weight or been your healthiest that you can remember? If you could wave a magic wand, and it could be just the weight you wanted it to be just for the rest of your life, what would that number look like? Where were you at the scale the last time you checked? Those are questions that, sometimes it slips our mind, but we really want to weave that in right into conversation every time we talk to them and nail them down on it.
Right.
Right?
And again, she went through those fairly fast, but the whole point is we want to find out about the person because we don't want them just in the contest. We have to put that out of our mind. We want to take them from point A to point B, and then we want to use what they say to us to help them. And so maybe it's a client that's in there that you've already done this with, and you already know how to bring that back into the conversation. Remember, Frank, you remember when we talked and you said that you haven't been hiking for 5 years and that's something you really want to do? We bring that back in. People we don't know, we really need, this should be for clients as you put clients on program, but also should be especially for these people that are coming into this challenge that you don't know or you've never really talked about weight loss or you might even find out in your weaving that they're really interested in being entrepreneurial or they really would like to someday own their own business or there's the dream weaving can be, because remember, we're not just a weight loss company, we're a trilogy. We offer 3 things to these people. We just got to find out what they need.
This is great, the questions. I see a lot of you want the script. So raise your hand if you want the script.
Oh my gosh, you better have something to write their name.
No, I can see this. Okay, pretty much everybody wants the script. It's great.
Well, honey, how are you going to find out they rated you?
Because we go back and see who was on the call.
When are you going to do that?
Okay.
I don't know how you're going to do that.
I'll write them down now.
I would rather say this. Email me and say, Jack, send me that dream weaving script because that'll be easier because I know that I'll forget one of you, and especially Claudia, she'll remind me if I do so.
Here's another question. On a scale of 1 to 10, being healthy, 10 is tops, 1 is not. Is that what's the priority in your life? What's the number? I mean, this makes them think, and that's what we want. We want our clients to think about what they're doing every single day. So we will make sure you get this. Look like everybody wanted it, so you can see their name. Okay.
Are you guys getting some feedback? Is that what it is? Okay.
While you're doing that, I'm going to tell them. And we also talk about our eating plan, and it balances the blood sugars. Have you ever heard of that? Have you ever thought about that? It's just really good.
And something that Craig brought up in one of the Zoom meetings I was in, that he uses it because let's say someone says to you, well, I know it's only 6 weeks, but I would like to lose 20 pounds. Well, the next question, what kind of program or what are you going to do that? Well, I guess just not eat very much. You see what I'm saying? It opens those doors to say, you don't have, they might say, I'm going to do Weight Watchers. You say, well, that's great. This program really worked. This challenge works really good for that, but you use these questions and stuff to open the door. And again, this isn't designed for us to cram down their throats, take shape for life. It's designed to find out what they want in life.
And the script talks about you have a personal health coach now that you're in the challenge. Guess who that is? It's me. And they're like, really? Wow. So this is just great. I don't know who did this, but it's just
It's
great.
been around a while, but I think sometimes it's overlooked. I think the challenge really brings this dream weaving out. And I know all of us have heard how it's about finding out what the client wants, what they want. And then Sue and I, we write it on the client page because you can forget. And so Anyway, any questions about dream weaving or the client or getting into that? Question? Yes, Jan, go ahead.
Not a question, just a comment. I'm
Yes.
so glad for that this is new. The last time we did this, we didn't have, well, at least I didn't get the surveys from anybody.
Right.
So I think that's a great addition. I love the fact that there's a lot more room participation, that you get points for posting in your room. I think that there's going to be a lot more of the room. It was difficult last time to make this a team, but I think they've made changes to make that easy, and I'm so glad. I think that's going to be really good.
It's going to be fun, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Jan,
gonna be
you
fun.
brought up a great point that, last time, I think a lot of us, I'll say to Mike, that we thought getting them in the contest, that was it. We lost something that we had the challenge before that Sue and I think this is our 5th challenge, but the 3rd challenge, we had a Zoom room going. We had that inner stuff going on.
Which you can do.
Yeah, but most of all, be sure to be very active on your page. You see somebody post something, you comment back to them. All that is great.
Encourage.
That's a great thought.
Cheerlead, right.
If you can pull a Zoom meeting off, don't be afraid of it. Believe me, you see how many times Sue and I fumbled over ourselves doing these meetings. But
Or they can join this one. too.
join the one we're going to do one on
right.
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
But just all that just to get them excited and going and stuff. So, any other comments? Claudia, yes, go ahead, Claudia.
Of course. 2 questions, but one, I do want to tell you that we are really growing up, so to speak. I loved when you did the Zoom calls before because I got to be in that challenge.
Yeah.
And so we've been practicing, and we got 2 of our players on our team to practice with us last Saturday morning.
Good.
2 people that show a little more leadership. So they played with us last Saturday morning, and they really liked that idea. So
Awesome.
that was cool. So you know what? There's a lot of personal growth that you have yourself. I mean, I feel like us learning to do Zoom is our own personal growth too for doing this.
Exactly.
Your confidence.
Yeah.
We have and Jan is right. I love this survey that comes to us.
Yes.
Now, should we, when we're profiling them, would we use like our client profile like we would do with a client?
Anything that makes it good for you.
Yeah.
I personally use the client profile.
Yeah.
If they don't become clients, so what? I still have the information there. If they become if they don't become clients, I'll put it in my pre-client. If they become clients, of course, we'll put it in the client folder. So I personally, Sue and I do. We use it. So
I didn't know if there was another form set out for us. I know we've got a lot of wonderful things prepared for us. So anyway, that was my comment or my questions or whatever.
Going back to you, Claudia, on the part of the Zoom, practicing the Zoom. I'm not saying you can't do it on phone calls. There's any meeting. There's different ones you can use. But Zoom's free. It's just at zoom.us. You can sign up free. That allows you to get 25 people in the room. They can stay there 40 minutes and start warning you at 30 minutes that your time's running out. But I can say this. The people are so gracious. I mean, a lot of you were gracious with us when the sound would go terrible or we couldn't get somebody muted. I mean, all those things that go on. I didn't get any hate mail. I got some suggestions. But for the most part, we're just trying to move people forward. And Claudia, you're right. It's time for us, to step up and do this because people, when they can see, I tell you a difference between calling a client and Zooming a client is night and day. It just is. And so it's worth it. And like these challenges, if this is your first challenge, it may not be your best result, but you'll learn so much from this. By the next one, you'll be better and better. And it's all about changing people's lives and getting them healthy. So anybody else want to make a comment or yes, Jan, go ahead.
Well, one of the things, I don't know if anybody was on the training with Carrie last night, but one of the things that she did is she took us back into her room and Just mess around. Just, I mean, it's like your back office. You can't really mess it up. You're not going to, take your computer off. I mean, sometimes we feel like we can mess something up. You can't.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of information there, and what you're going to do is they have a list of everybody that's in your room and who invited them. So if it's you that invited them, that's great. But if you had other people in your room and they invite people and they come and join, then you can keep track of who they're related to.
Right.
So if you have a potential coach who may want to coach, then you can see the people that they've invited. Maybe they've invited 5 people. That's their cap, And so they could easily become senior coach right off the bat. And so that's a really important thing to keep track of that.
Yeah, and isn't this easier than walking up to somebody and talking about Take Shape? I mean, to me, the contest is so much easier because, you know what I'm saying? It's just a great tool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And 2, what I like about it when you're back there in the back office, let's say you called Frank and Frank hadn't got in the room yet. And so you're picking up the phone and Frank goes, well, I don't know where that invite you said. That's all right, because there's there's this little button that says Frank, and I push it. I say, oh, Frank, I just sent you another invite, because you can send it over and over until he gets in the room. And so you don't have to go look up his email address or any of that. You can just simply, as you're talking to him on the phone, okay, Frank, I sent you another invite, and boom. So it's really, really good. So we got a few more minutes. Any other comments, questions?
I want to say something about the invite too, because we were curious what was going out. So I can't remember if I sent it to Dale or sent it to me. And really great. It's really cool. It's got the animated thing on there. It's really nice.
Got the little video.
Yeah.
I love the little video.
It's not just a little email. It's really,
it's really nice. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. I'm going to remind you, if you would like the document, the dream weaving, it's a lot longer than what we covered, but it covers a lot of stuff.
Good.
But I want to remind you that you'll be more effective if you find out what moves your participant or your client along, because when you can remind them why they're doing this, they'll be more successful. And
they'll be excited.
Yeah, and also when it opens the door for you to talk about Take Shape, it's not something you have to shove down people's throat.
Well, it talks about right here how you do that.
Yeah, and I believe that people are ready. Some are, some aren't. And just being there and them knowing when the opportunity comes, they're going to be thinking about you. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
anything else, guys? We'll give you. I'm going to have to write these. The ones that are messaging me before I get off.
I know.
I'm going to go like that.
Everybody seemed to want it. So.
I know that you all want it, but then when this meeting's over, I have to remember who all is.
Let's go back to the.
No.
Our cute faces.
Yeah. Well, I could freeze you guys right here. I guess I could go back.
I can write it right.
I could go back and do that, but yeah.
Can I ask Jan a question?
No, that's not allowed. This is my Zoom meeting. You can't do that. Mine. Okay, go ahead. Just this once.
She's part of my team. I mean, she's my power people.
Everyone's part of everyone's team. I'm gonna write it.
No, I heard her. We didn't get to be on Terry's Zoom meeting last night. We had to call in because we kept trying to get in. So I don't know if it was full. It wouldn't let us on. I don't know what happened, but we tried, but we did it by phone. Mm-hmm. And we had a little trouble following it, but it seems like Jan made some comment about getting a hold of the recording from something that you had go on Saturday. I think your event up there. She kept talking about Bill made this wonderful presentation.
Can't hear her.
Can't hear you, Jan.
So you're talking about the fact that we had a great training. We did. It was awesome. And if you want, and I'm certain that because Jack and Sue are the ones that put it together, they can send you a link to the recording of it. But it was done after, according to the TED Talks. You ever seen TED Talks? Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, is
and
that
it
what-
was done along those lines. It was probably one of the best, if not the best, things I've seen us do, because there was no rah-rah, just lots and lots of great information.
So Claudia, you're talking about the TSFL talks. Is that what you're talking
I
about?
don't know. She was just kept referring to, I think, Brian or Brad or Bill. Bill had this amazing talk, and so
Oh,
she
okay,
was
yeah.
saying,
Bill, you're talking about Bill Ritchie. Yeah, he
Yes,
did
We
it
yes.
talked on friendship
at relationships.
or relationship.
Relationship.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good thing.
and you can find are you a member of, well, it's in TED Talks. I don't, okay. We'll get it to you, Claudia.
Thank you.
We'll get that to you.
Because Jan did such a good job of selling it that I have to
Well,
have it.
Well, not, Jan, I appreciate that. But October 4th, for you that are local or close enough to drive, we're going to repeat that.
Same thing.
Well, maybe not the same
Yeah,
subject, but we're
right.
the same style, TSFL Talks, October 4th. We're also going to, for those that aren't in the area, we're going to Zoom it out to them. So, which I say if you got people that are interested in becoming a client or a coach, it'd be, if you're out of the area, it'd be great to have them come into your living room. They'll get a sense of who we are and who Take Shape for Life is.
Yes.
And that's probably the most important, because
Mhm.
if they trust you, they'll come to you in their need when that time comes. So,
Yes.
all right.
We need some names. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you raise your hand again if you would like the
I think I have.
Dreamweaver?
I think I
Dreamweaver?
have you. So.
Okay, Ben.
I already emailed you. I already
Yes.
emailed.
Okay, Frank, we got you.
Mhm.
We got Ben. We got Bruce.
Bruce. Okay,
Okay.
Bruce.
Diana, we got. Cheryl, we got. Rick, did you want to?
Got Rick. You're getting one.
You're getting it anyway. If you don't want
Want it or not.
yeah, we'll send it to. We're gonna send it to everybody. So anyway, well, guys, we went up about 5 minutes over. I'm excited. What's going on?
Yes.
Just I can't tell you my phone, because a lot of people are resolved to texting me now, and it's really something at night just to hear the thing go off and see all that you guys are doing. Very, very proud of you.
Yeah.
Keep up the good
Awesome
work.
group.
And just, you know what? The person you meet tomorrow may be the person you change their life forever. And that's really, really special. So go out and look for that special person that you could touch. And we'll be back next week at this time, okay?
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you all.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.